Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought I'd be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original Mutagen Man. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy.
Seymour Guts was just your average mailman until he fell into a vat of special mutagen being developed by the Shredder. Forced to wear a life support system for his unstable body, Seymour is now fed a constant supply of mutagen to keep himself from falling apart. After being renamed Mutagen Man, the Shredder offered to cure him in exchange for his loyalty and servitude. Due to the nature of his unstable body, this reluctant villain now has the powers to shapeshift and finds himself at odds with the Turtles.
Alright, so here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Man action figure. Now, when I first got this guy, I really actually didn't like him. I thought he was way too gross because you could see all the guts in there, the skull, and his disintegrating flesh and muscles. But damn it if this guy didn't grow on me and become one of my favorite characters to play with. He's actually within my top 10 list of Ninja Turtles action figures. He has an overall look that's very unique and a design on him that's never actually been done in any of the Ninja Turtles figures to date. Well, except for the new Mutagen Man, which is this glass body and the ability to actually see the inside of his guts. You can kind of see his intestines in there, his kidney, his lungs, and his skull with his two eyes popping out. The fact that he actually has two cartoony eyes, I guess, kind of helps diffuse some of the overall creepiness of it, if you really get down to it, and his little exposed brain in the back there. I also like the sculpting on his arms and legs, how you could just see that flesh is just starting to deteriorate off and there's the muscle and exposed bone. And I love all the electronic circuits on him or extra attachments to help try to just keep them together. Now I will apologize that I am missing a lot of his key accessories. Keep in mind, this is one of the guys I took over to my cousin's house into school all the time. So naturally in transportation and when it was time to go home, scooping up all the accessories, yeah, things like that got lost. I'm missing the actual lower half of his purple soft rubber support system armor. One of my friends had told me, hey, why don't you take it off to see how he looks without it? And it was one of those things that once you get it off, it's very hard to get back on. I even did the top one, but that was kind of a pain in the butt. As you can see, it doesn't quite fit just as well as it did originally. So that is one thing that got lost. The other thing that was lost was his yellow mutagen container that actually had a little hose that would attach to one of these little pegs on the top. I think that got lost right away just because it never really fit on there all that well and it could just easily pop off. The last thing too is I'm missing his gun. I'll be showing pictures of these things up, but actually I think I actually might still have his gun. I'm just not sure where it is in all the pile of action figures, but I wasn't able to find it for this review. Now the way you could fill this guy up, oh, I should also probably point out, he also comes with these little tiny accessories on the inside. I'm hoping that they come across. It's a bunch of little tiny floating debris that just kind of floats around in there. You get, let me see if we can get these accessories in a better spot. If you can kind of see in there, you get you get this weird eyeball tadpole thing, a little bobby or a spindle for thread, a wrench, a slice of pizza, and even a little tiny turtle floating around him. So even though he hates turtles, he has one floating around him all the time. Now the way his gimmick is you have to try to get the little plunger or stopper up here on the top of his head off, which is kind of, it fits in there very tightly, so it is a little bit hard to get out. Let me just give me a few seconds here. Might end up having to cut this out. Ah, there we go. As you can see, yeah, it was a very tight fit. And that hole in there is very small. Some water is actually pouring out. So it's easy to actually pour water in here, but if you're wanting to get actual mutagen, it's going to be a little bit of a pain. You're probably going to have to put it in there a little bit at a time and let it just slowly drain down. The other sad thing is the mutagen's not going to be all that clear, so it's going to cover up a lot of the detail of his guts. And if you want to fill it to the brim, you won't be able to see anything at all, but if you keep it kind of low, eventually that pocket of air will kind of dry everything out. So that's the one downside. If anything, I think you should actually stick with the water. Or I guess if you really wanted to, you could kind of fill them up with some laundry detergent or dishwater soap that's also green. That wouldn't actually dry up to all that bad. I wonder actually how that would look. Now as far as his articulation goes, because of his actual body design, he's very limited. His arms can only move up and down, And rather than having the standard ball joints at the legs that most Ninja Turtles have, his legs can only move up and down as well. They're actually just, everything kind of just fits on these nice little socket pegs. Now, he also doesn't have any elbow or wrist articulation or any other type of leg articulation like that. He's pretty stiff and solid. But other than that, he's still a really cool figure, and I'm really happy that someone gave this to me, and he's become one of my favorites in my collection. Anyways, this has been a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Man action figure. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.